Whitetail Addictions. The hunt is on. There's no going back now. It's in your blood. A primal need that must be met. It drives you. It consumes you. It takes you to the edge. What was once a simple pastime has now become your addiction. This season, come share the excitement with a group of fellow whitetail addicts from Lone Wolf. Learn from their time-tested techniques, as well as their mistakes, and be there to experience firsthand the highs and the lows we've all come to thrive on. They are do-it-yourselfers just like you. Their season begins the moment the last one ends. And when it comes time to release an arrow, they come up big. This is Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions. This week on Whitetail Addictions, we're back with the Lone Wolf, Andrae D'Acquisto. Andrae missed a giant buck because of a smashed sight pin on last week's show. This week, it's time for a little redemption, Lone Wolf style. We're also going to meet up with Andrae's oldest son, Cody. After shooting a 160 class bruiser in Season 2, Cody's back for another shot at a late-season buck in southern Illinois. On last week's show, it looked like Andrae's 2007 archery season was shaping up to be one for the books after he harvested his best bow kill to date with this 211-inch non-typical giant. But the Lone Wolf season didn't start out on such a high note.
I had a dandy buck come down the field edge. Didn't give me a lot of time to look at him, but he looked like he'd be a netting 170 all day long. And had that deer coming down the field edge. What I thought was a chip shot. Had him on video, and I normally don't stop a deer, but I grunted him and tried to stop him, and missed the deer clean. Lo and behold, there was a little bit of hair there, and I couldn't figure out what the heck happened. I looked down. My pin was busted up, twisted sideways, and sometime between before the evening hunt this day and the morning post, I banged up my pin. Got that bow up, you get back. Usually it's right there. You get the full draw, and it's all I seen was a big black strip. By the time I found the end of the pin and put it on him, I missed.
That's a frickin' look like a Boone and Crockett. Easy frickin' shot. A shot I couldn't believe I frickin' missed. I looked at my pin, and it's smashed. The whole sight's caved in and the pin's. When the frick that happened, I don't know. You talk about frickin' luck. Couldn't have asked for a more picture-perfect setup. I mean, this thing is smashed.
I mean, I was as mad about that as I've ever been about anything whitetail, and I thought, okay, a lot of guys, they always get in a situation like that, and payback time for them is come back gun season with a muzzle loader and shoot the damn thing. Well, I don't gun hunt, so I'm gonna tear this deal down. My son actually came down, told him about the whole deal. I slid down the field line 50 yards, reset a new stand, got it all set, left it alone, and got out of there and was going to come back and hunt that deer another day. I couldn't wait to get back in that stand and get redemption for what that deer had put me through earlier in the season.
Welcome back to Whitetail Addictions. Andrae had been seeing some other great bucks in his area. Bucks like this big 7-point that seemed to be showing up just about everywhere on the farm. This big 10-point came dangerously close to Andrae's stand also. But there was one buck in particular in the back of his mind that he just couldn't seem to forget. The day after harvesting the flyer buck, Andrae went out to check his trail cameras and found out the big 10-point that he shaved the hair off of had returned to his scrape line. So, with another tag in his pocket, Andrae slid back into the new set that was waiting for him, just 50 yards down from where he missed the big 10-pointer earlier in the season. Andrae was definitely in the right spot, with bucks on the move all around him. This big 8-point would make most any hunter happy, but Andrae had a score to settle, and it was with someone else.
I think I got him down through the liver and into the lungs. He was facing pretty much directly away, so I think I heard him crash. I'm going to give him 20 minutes or so and get my equipment all organized. And get on the track. Got a bunch of deer out here still filtering in. Moon charts at 820 something. That thing is so on the money. It's really changed the way I hunt.
That deer actually came down. You couldn't see it on video, but he was on that field edge. He looped this tree that I shot him out of a week earlier, did a huge loop around it, wind it, seen that there was nobody in it, jumped back on that field edge, was going to head right by the front of that tree again and check all those scrapes. Lo and behold, he didn't realize is that I was right on top of him. Had another 155 class 8 come out. The deer was looping around, the wind was perfect. He was heading right to check all those scrapes. Again, we had still monitored the area with the trail cameras picture, so we knew we were still using those scrapes. And I pounded that deer at about 8 yards, and had another dandy inside of 2 days down, and was pretty stoked about it.
Oh my God, this thing might be Boone and Crockett. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at the frickin' cage.
You know, I don't mean to sound like a sick, addicted type of person, but I'm really quite a perfectionist, and I seen that he had that. If I'd have seen that he didn't have that dang tine missing,
right at boom. He's got some stickers. He's got a tine missing. It's not good. But he's dead. Get a tag on him, get him gutted out, do some filming for the other guys, and move on to Iowa, where I think there's a monster waiting for me. 2 down, 1 to go. And who knows, maybe when we get back to Wisconsin, do a little hunting there.
Whitetail Addictions will be right back. Welcome back to Whitetail Addictions. Last year, we traveled to Cudahy, Wisconsin to meet up with one of our younger whitetail addicts, Andrae D'Acquisto. Cody's definitely got whitetail hunting in his blood, and last year harvested a great buck during the late season in Illinois. He found out, though, that shooting mature bucks and capturing the hunt on video yourself is quite a challenge. But Cody was up for the task this year and ready to take his hunting and his filming to the next level.
2 years ago, I shot my first deer, my first buck, and my dad was filming, and we got some pretty good footage. But after that, I kind of want to do it myself. So the past year, I attempted it myself, and I ended up shooting a deer right out of the screen. You could see it run through the screen with the arrow in it, all that, but it just wasn't what I wanted. I wanted it to be crisp, and I wanted to see the impact shot and everything. So coming in this year, that was something that I really look forward to. After shooting my first deer, I started getting interested in more. I really wanted to get out there more, and I hunted a fair amount in Wisconsin and in Illinois the second year. But I think when I shot that big 160 down in Illinois, it just made me that more focused and that more interested and that more addicted. Coming into this season, I had 2 main goals. One was to just shoot 2 nice bucks, one in Wisconsin, one in Illinois. And the other one was to capture my hunt and kill on film. And sure enough, it happened.
Cody spent the better part of his archery season hunting at home in Wisconsin after school and on the weekends, but did manage to get down to Illinois a handful of times. Cody was seeing some good bucks and honing his camera skills at the same time, but just wasn't getting the caliber bucks he was looking for into range. He wasn't concerned, though. He knew from experience that late season in Illinois can be a great time in the deer woods. Cody was looking forward to hunting in Illinois during the late season, and on his Christmas break had a close call with this big 8-point. This was definitely a buck that Cody wanted to harvest, but the big buck never presented a shot. It wasn't until the end of season, hunting hard to the bitter end, when everything would finally come together.
I'm pretty excited. This deer, it's good for me. It'll be my second booker now. The third buck with a bow, second booker. It's a little tough because going to school and all, I only get to come down here every once in a while. So I'm pretty psyched about graduating. Next year I'll be able to be down here as long as it takes. But there's one thing for sure. I am definitely addicted to hunting whitetail. And I really want to get down here and check this buck out.
Cody's arrow put the big 8-pointer down for keeps. And our young whitetail addict with the patience and persistence of a veteran hunter, had finally accomplished his goal.
Got a nice late season buck right here. It's my third buck with the bow, second buck with the low bow. And the sport is just awesome.
Whitetail Addictions will be right back.
The mass on that right side, double splits.
Here's some tips on hunting over scrapes. What I've learned in recent years after monitoring trail camera pictures over scrapes is that a lot of these mature bucks seem to be hitting these scrapes more in late October. I've also noticed that they seem to be on a 2 to 3 day cycle, so you'll want to not jump on those scrapes the day after you get a picture. You'll want to wait a little bit. When setting up a stand on these spots, you'll want to set up downwind, but you'll want to make sure you're within shooting range of that scrape. I've seen many a buck come in from upwind, get into a scrape, work it, and head out the same direction. And my favorite time to sit a scrape is just after a good rain. It seems these bucks are anxious to get back and refreshen them up, and I've seen more mature bucks during daylight hours on scrapes just after a good rain.
Welcome back to Whitetail Addictions. After shooting 2 giant bucks in Illinois, Andrae had one more tag to fill, and he planned on doing it on a new piece of property he recently purchased in Iowa. Andrae's trail cameras that he'd set out earlier in the season had been loaded with pictures of great bucks, and lots of them. But with it being his first season on the property and the rut long gone, he knew he had his work cut out for him. Andrae's pre-hung stands were ready to go, and after some scouting and a quick check of his trail cameras, it didn't take him long to get in the game. Andrae was seeing some great deer on his property, but he'd gotten pictures of one big 10-point in particular that caught his eye. It wasn't until the snow fell and the season winding down to a close that Andrae would get his chance at the big whitetail. With the big, mature 10-point just steps away from his shooting lane, Andrae waited patiently for his shot. As the big buck moved through Andrae's shooting lane, he made the decision to let the buck walk.
Had a pretty decent buck that I passed with 3 days left of the season, with still a tag in my pocket. It was probably gross right around 170 mark, but had a busted brow. my son thinks I made a mistake and should have harvested that deer. We won't know that until we see next year what that deer actually turns into and if somebody has the opportunity to take them. You know, the last couple seasons been just phenomenal, shooting some of my best bucks ever, raising a barb ear and getting a deer a little bit bigger. These whitetail addictions, it's as addictive as ever. And I got a buck now that's fueling my fire that I can't get out of my head. And I was hoping to be able to rest here, and I'm already having dreams about him. I think I've harvested him over 20 times in my dreams, and I've only missed him once. So we'll see what happens.